Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Antonio. I am your host, Antonio. Well, today is July 4th, 2025. What's there to say, every year, even on, how can I say this? What's there to celebrate right now? And I know a lot of right-wing nuts are going to say, oh, you're not being a patriot. You don't love your country. You don't support President Trump. Blah, blah, blah. That's not the case, Okay. I am a patriot. To them, I'm not, but me personally, I am. I am a patriot. I love my country. You understand that? I just don't love the guy who's in charge right now, supposedly. A guy who is... there are no words to describe this dude who is in power right now. Like right now, a lot of people, I don't know if you can hear in the background, or where I live out here in the San Fernando Valley, there are people who are burning fireworks, but it's not as much as it has been in the past years. Even during the first Trump administration, not a lot of people were burning fireworks. But right now, yeah, there are some people who are firing. I mean, they're free to do whatever the fuck they want, But a lot of people who really do know, they're protesting and not celebrating anything right now. I'm one of them, Usually every year I always grab a chair and I sit my butt on the grass and I look at the fireworks, and it's kind of like our own Disneyland here where I live out here in the San Fernando Valley. But right now, what's worth celebrating right now? Because everything right now, nothing is free in this country right now. Nothing is free and also right now because of what's going on with the big beautiful bill. That's just another Trump tax cut for the fucking rich people, And it's funny that this guy does it all. He celebrates right now during the 4th of July celebration. He signed it into law, making it a big deal out of everything. And as I said at the beginning, what's to celebrate the 4th of July right now? It doesn't feel like a 4th of July right now, especially with this guy in power. And there is a very famous wrestler that goes by the name of Kevin Nash. He said this on his Twitter, and I quote, "Happy 4 more trillion in dead day. Never felt this proud as we continue to destroy the empathy we once held for the less fortunate. So I guess happy wealthy white 1% day. Enjoy your small regional hospitals where you can. Thanks just continue to get greater. Happy 4th, unquote." That's what Kevin Nash says. And I know about Kevin Nash. I watched him when he was Big Daddy Cool Diesel in the WWF/WWE days. He was known as Kevin Nash in WCW when he was a part of the NWO during the Monday Night Wars. He's also a former Army veteran, so he knows what the fuck he's talking about. And some other dude named Major Swagger, give me a fucking break. He says, and I quote, "What the fuck does being white have to do with anything?" unquote. And Kevin Nash knows what the fuck he's talking about. So for this dude, he said this. I'm going to repeat once again, and I quote, Major Swagger said this. "What the fuck does being white have to do with anything?" And Kevin Nash clapped back, and he said, and I quote, "Are you worried about being deported, cracker? Sit in your Alabama double white and shut the fuck up." He just basically clapped back. That's Kevin Nash don't fuck around, people. And I love that, And right now all the people are all the Republicans are all high-fiving people like that fat ass Ted Cruz, all smiles and shit. And that dickless coward Mike Johnson says that we all have to pass just because Trump said so. I like this guy, and I was speaking to my dad earlier about this, and he said that this bill that was passed right now, in reality, what's going to happen, mostly the red states that voted for this guy are going to get affected. People, obviously here, I live in the state of California, the blue states Washington, Oregon, California, New Mexico, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, all these the blue states that voted for the other candidate are not going to get affected as much as the red states, So Hey, even the state of Texas right now, what's going on? And you know how Trump right now celebrating with that stupid dance where he moves his hands? It looks like he's fucking jacking off two dicks at the same time. And right now, what's going on in Texas right now? There's like a flood right now that 24 people have perished. And do you think that Trump gives a fuck right now? And also right now, what's making me laugh right now, what's going on with Florida Alcatraz right now? It's funny how all this shit that they're doing right now, and also right now, the ICE raids are still continuing because yesterday while I was working around Hatteras in North Hollywood, ICE was there, and I saw those motherfuckers. And there's a fellow who I follow on Twitter. His name is Ryan Shed. Shout out to you, Ryan, man. Keep up the good work, my friend. I love what you say. He posted a video of Tupac. He's talking about Trump in 1992. Let me see if I could put it up right now. Let's see. This is courtesy of Ryan Shed, by the way. 1 second, people. Here it is.
You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme, push, step, crush. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for $36 million and we got people starving in the streets. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants. But even if you earned it, you still owe. But I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? $32 million, and this person has nothing, and you can sleep, you can still go to the movie. These are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. Billionaires. How can they be humanitarians? By the fact that they're millionaires and there's so many poor people shows how unhumane they are. I think there is a way. It just takes to be revolutionary. I know you got $40 billion, but can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me.
That's Tupac talking about Trump. And Ryan wrote this, and this is what he said, and I quote, "I would be okay with expanding our debt by trillions of dollars if we were housing the unhoused, providing health care, feeding hungry kids at school, and eliminating the need for food pantries altogether. But that's not what's happening today. The American people were screwed in favor of top 10 wealthiest people using temporary tax relief with a lot of strings attached as their bait. And it worked. Trump and the government can assemble a concentration camp in 8 days, but we can't build basic shelter for Americans in need. Life just got a lot harder for the average Joe, unquote." And I believe that, you know. It's like with me. I'm a delivery driver. Right now, my job has been very, very slow. Not a lot of people have been ordered. Before, if people are going to start talking shit, shut the fuck up, all right? I have another job right now. I'm looking for other jobs, you know, but for the time being, this is what I'm doing. So shut the fuck up. Anyhow, I'm a delivery driver. And lately, because of the tariffs that this fucking idiot did, everything's gone up right now. And also, I'll give you an example. I was doing a shop and deliver, and I saw the Johnny Walker Blue Label at Vallarta. And I saw the before the tariffs hit, it used to be $279, and now it's $479. It went up $200, mind you, people. I'm like, what the fuck? Really? And right now, toys also are going to go up in prices right now because of Trump's tariffs. It's like the 1930s again. Right now with what was that dude's name? President Hoover, who was in power back then. He instituted tariffs, and he also did mass deportations to a lot of Mexican Americans right now. And there's like a lot of videos say that mass deportations don't work. Exactly. And people say, oh, yeah, they do because they're illegal. That's a crime. Shut the fuck up. If you're white, don't even say that. If you're a racist white people, don't even fucking say that. I'm not saying all white people are racist, because they're not. But it's just like the minority who are fucking racist say illegals should not be here. They're invading. And if you take a look at their color, they're not really Americans. The real Americans are the natives, whether they like it or not. You know, and it's funny how like they say that illegal immigrants are invaders. So are there. The reason why people say that is they should be like the ancestors. Also, they're not invaded. Also, besides invaders, they're colonizers. They came here and invaded and stole native land. You know, and yet they get all butthurt when people really call them colonizers. Well, tough shit, motherfucker. You know, and the ice race is still going on. I saw a video right now on Blue Sky. There was this one fellow in Eagle Rock who was selling fruit, and this fucking fat ass. You can tell he's a fucking Latino, and he has face covered. And he took the guy and he handcuffed him. He wasn't even a real ICE agent. It's one of those fake ones with a California license plate. If it was real ICE, they would had the U.S. government license plate. But it's like one of those fucking bounty hunters. They're offering X amount for capturing illegal immigrant per illegal immigrant. It's just infuriating, you know, that these shit's still going on. And you know, it's funny how Trump is so pissed off right now about the protests because he hates that. He doesn't like that. And you know, it's funny how there's like a lot of and also because of, today is July 4th. There's like a lot of protests in San Francisco. Protests are going around right now saying Trump must go. And it's massive, you know. And they're looking at this fucking walking UTI. Her name is Laura Loomer. Fuck that bitch. She posted a picture, says, happening now, anti-Trump protesters have flooded the streets of Washington, D.C., and they are marching towards the White House. The angry mob is currently holding posters with 8647 slogans while waving Antifa flags. Stay safe if you are in D.C. today. They're not going to do anything. They have hey, Laura, hey, fuckface, walking UTI. Yeah, I'm talking to you, lady. There's a thing called freedom of speech. But yet, if you only like freedom of speech if it's you guys. You can say whatever the fuck they want, but if people are protesting against your fucking precious orange orangutan, that's not freedom of speech. That's aggression. Read the Constitution, lady. If you can read that fucking is. You also like to throw shots at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, calling her fat and plastic. Motherfucker, look at yourself, man. At least Alexandria's more attractive than your fucking fake-ass plastic face. It looks like a fucking California raisin surgery on your face that's gone bad, you know? That's what it looks like, your face, bitch. Shut the fuck up. And, you know, it's funny. They're going around. The protests are still going around, whether Trump likes it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still going to go on. And you know, it's funny how there's protests, but yet Trump must go. It could happen. Look what happened not that long ago in South Korea. There was a protest of a guy who's trying to stay in power or take over everything. People protested, and they got that fucker out. That's a perfect example. But here, it won't happen because Republicans are too fucking stupid chicken shit that they're afraid of Trump. They are so afraid of that guy, you know? That's what infuriates me. They caught him. People like Mike Johnson, Tommy Tuberville, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these people, and also like behind the whole thing of the ICE raids is that little midget Jew named Stephen Miller. Ugh, that guy that's a one guy that I would like to go up and slap him in my face, and I don't give a fuck if people don't like what I say. You know, this guy is behind everything that's going on right now. But you know what? My mom and dad are devastated, you know, because of what's going on here in the United States of America. My mom is sad because, like, right now, the Department of Justice also want to go after the United States on the American citizens who became naturalized because they want to go after the quote unquote criminals. When in reality, that's just a smokescreen. He wants to go after people who are not white. They're not going to go after white people like your white Europeans who became United States citizens. They're not going to go after. They only want to go after like Latinos. You know that? And it sucks. My mom is scared. She doesn't feel safe right now. Even my dad, who is a very, very aware individual, who is very serious, he doesn't really express anything, but he's even saying all this stuff right now of what's going on with the Trump administration. And for my dad said I actually saw him that he's very worried right now. But that's not the case with him right now. And for my father to act that way, it's weird, because my dad's not like that, It's very, very strange for my father to act that way. But I had a talk with him, and I told him, this is just like a bad dream right now. It's just like a bad episode right now, but nothing is forever, That's what I always say. Nothing is forever, people. But I tell my mom, don't feel that way. Everything's gonna be okay, Everything's gonna be okay. This all will pass. And once the midterms arrive, that's where all hell breaks loose. That's where the Democrats are gonna give a big fuck you to Trump. And right now, since they want to denaturalize some certain American citizens because they have quote unquote terrorists. They're terrorists, they're criminals. Like right now, this fellow who's trying to run for the mayor of New York City, Trump wants to deport him, take away his citizenship and deport him. That's how much, just what, Trump, just fucking say it. I'm a racist. I don't like people of color. Just fucking say that, dude. What's keeping you from saying that? Because you won't say it on TV. You know why? Because you're a fucking coward, Trump. You are a fucking coward. And he wants to deport people like with anchor babies. And a reporter asked him about, why don't you start with you? Because of also with your wife and also your children. And he started getting mad. How dare you talk to me that way? I'm the president. He doesn't like that, and that reporter called him out, and then he walked away like the fucking dickless coward that he is, fucking taco. It's just with everything that Trump says, it's just stupidity. He doesn't fucking care. He's just a dickless coward. And it's funny that all he ever does is like all these quote unquote executive decisions, but it doesn't benefit nobody. People say that he's doing a good job, and there's even a couple who had a wife, I believe, and I was arrested by ICE, but yet somehow still supports Trump instead of his wife. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? I'd be fucking upset. Hold that thought. I would not be upset, people. I would be furious at the motherfucker who deported my wife. And yet someone will say, oh, well, I'm still supporting Trump and this and that. That's how much you drank the fucking Kool-Aid, dude. That's how people are so fucking blindly loyal to this guy. And all this stuff that he's doing, he's making all these changes. And right now he has and also because right now of what's going on in California with the ICE raids and all that stuff. And yeah, he has a grudge against, especially towards Governor Gavin Newsom. With Governor Newsom, I have like somewhat of an issue towards the guy. But if you compare Governor Newsom to Trump, he calls it Governor Newscum. And you, Trump, they should call you President Fat Ass, Orangutan, Cholesterol Shitbag. But do you think, okay, Governor Newsom said this, and because you know how Trump writes all this fucking bullshit on his True Social website and everything on when he puts on a caps lock, he writes it in capital letters and such. He says all this shit. He's just another diarrhea mouth punk, And Governor Newsom clapped back saying, America's keyboard warrior. Because that's what he is. He's just a fucking diarrhea mouth punk. He what he needs to do? He needs to fucking shut his mouth. He needs a fucking muzzle. Because ever since when he went back in the days of Twitter, all he ever spewed was stupidity and all this shit. Because he still has a grudge towards President Obama. And right now he wants to go after Hunter Biden, and the Republicans are still fucking obsessed with Hunter Biden and all that stuff. But Trump can't do shit, And you know why? Because he was already pardoned. And he says that they did the fake signatures. Everything is a fake to this guy. But hey, fatty. You can't go after Hunter Biden. I don't have an opinion towards that guy But you can't go after him, Trump, because he's already pardoned. So deal tough, like this guy says, like one of my childhood idols says, if you don't like it, tough shit. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is just talk shit on Truth Social, because that's all you ever do. And I'll bet dollars to donuts, people, that if whatever happens with this guy, and whoever comes in power or whatever happens come 2028 in the elections, he is not gonna shut up, because all he's gonna say is talk shit about the person in power. If I were still president, because this dude is like, all he ever does is run his mouth about that he's gonna be for a third term. And there's even in his fucking website, he has a hat says Trump 2020, and also that fucking fat ass rapper saying, Trump 2028. And it's funny how there's this one guy named Enter Gunthelman, whatever that fucker name is. All he ever does is run his mouth saying that President Obama divided the country. If my memory serves correctly, who was the one who started the whole birthers conspiracy towards President Obama? Trump. That's the guy who did that, And to me, Trump is just a fucking shit stirrer. He likes to stir up shit, and he likes to just create trouble. He's just a weird shit stirrer. And like right now, right now he wants to do another fucking UFC on the White House lawn. And right now, and also because of what's going on with the deportations, he wants to deport. Because as I mentioned earlier in this episode, how he wants to deport even American citizens, take away their citizenship and deport them. He also wants to deport Elon Musk, because right now their feud is up again. But Trump, even like all his fucking bootlickers like Pam Bondi, they said they could deport Elon Musk. Well, newsflash, you can't deport him. He's already a citizen. He's already a United States citizen. I'm no fan of Elon Musk. Fuck that guy. But this guy, like even like the guys like that little pathetic little Jew Stephen Miller, who's saying that they should deport even American citizens, take away their citizenship and deport them. It like, no, that can't be. And you know what? If that were to occur, the ACLU would have a field day against this fucking piece of shit. But I don't know right now. This is like, I have no desire to, like right now, I don't know if you can, when I first started recording, you could hear the fireworks in the background, but right now you can't hear shit. It's not really like, I think a lot of people know what's going on. And also with the ice race, a lot of people are saying, there was a video that a friend of mine posted on, I think it was on Instagram. He says that do not go out on the 4th of July because it could be a trap. And because how ice ages are like fucking, they're all like little blood sucking leeches. They're like vultures, they're like, and it's funny that the majority of all ice agents are all Latinos. Latino Americans. And even a white person said this on social media, that the biggest enemy towards a Latino is another Latino. And that's a fact. There's actually videos of ICE agents who are from the same race. How can you do that? They're like, are you like really like self-loathing of your own race that you want to deport people of the same of your ethnicity or heritage? That's how much we do that. And I have family members who are extremely right wing, and they actually support the ICE raids. That right there, people, is mind blowing to me. It's like me. I am the son of immigrants. My parents came to this country back in the 70s for a better life. They became citizens later on. I was born here, and I am proud to be an American. I'm a proud patriot. Believe it or not, to the MAGAs, they say I'm not a patriot because I'm a Democrat. They can kiss my ass. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, so they don't know anything about me, so they can suck my dick. But I'm a proud American. I love my country, and I am for immigrants' rights. I would never be against immigrants, because my parents were immigrants once upon a time here. They work hard. They became citizens. And I am extremely proud of my mom and dad. And right now they're worried, but I tell them, Mom, Dad, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. You know, it really breaks my heart. Sorry. It really breaks my heart knowing that my mom and dad are feeling this way. And I don't like that, you know, because my parents worked their butt off to support me, to support my brother and me. And here I am. I'm alive. I have a job. I have everything. What more can I ask for? Like right now, I am working more because I want to help out my mom and dad because they worked their butt off for most of their lives, and I just want to help, you know, give them a break, you know. I want to give back to my parents a lot, and I don't like to see them worry because of what's going on with this fucking piece of shit right now. And you know, and I said this to my dad, and to my mom and dad actually. If this guy has if he has a problem with people, like, if you have a problem with me, say it to my face. What the fuck are you gonna do? You can't do shit to me, you know. If you have a problem with me, say it to my face. But don't mess with my family, you know. Do not fuck with my family, you know. They're hard workers. They were hard workers. My parents right now are taking it easier now, and I'm the one who's working more now. Don't fuck with my parents, you know. Don't fuck with my family. If you have a problem with me, say it to my face or do something against me, but don't fuck with my family, you know. That's all I can say about this. And I just don't like that, you know. But I tell my mom and dad, don't worry. This will pass. This will pass. Nothing is forever. I always say that. You know. But like right now, it's just a mess right now. What's going on here in this country? And with this guy passing this bill, there's going to be more debt right now. People who are here in the state of California who have Medi-Cal and all that stuff are going to get, even who even depend on SNAP, which is the food stamp thing. They're going to get fucked right now. And it's sad, you know. It's extremely sad what's going on right now in this country. But like I said before, this will pass. This will fucking pass. And like right now, I know people. I know that there's gonna be something. You know, I was talking to my girl the other day that something is gonna happen. Because like right now, a lot of people, especially like minorities, like Latino, Hispanic, even like people. I was watching a video in New York. I think it was in the city of Brooklyn. ICE were trying to arrest and take away some Haitians, and they left all blood and bruised and bloodied because they're not gonna tolerate their shit, you know. And the Haitians fought back. Fuck ICE, you know. And you know, even wrestlers. I forgot this fellow's name. He's also supporting, giving out, gathering money to support people who are effective of ICE right now. And you know, it's funny. I think I mentioned this in previous episodes that a lot of like the vendors, like the taco, because you know, in my job, I always pick up like food from taco vendors. During the month of June, it was practically empty. Even people who were selling clothes, or especially mostly like it was food, nothing. It was pretty much empty. Like right now, slowly they're coming back, but they're just like tippy toeing right now. It's just a mess right now. But like I said, as I said before, this will pass. This will pass, my peeps, you know. But yeah, but 4th of July, there's nothing to celebrate. Hopefully, maybe next year, whatever happens in the midterms, because I know that the midterms are going to come up in 2026. You know, But let's just see what happens. And let's see. There's nothing else to talk about. But I will be right now. I will in the coming weeks. I will keep you informed on Blue Sky, and also I'm very active on Instagram. And I will keep you informed of people who I'm going to interview. And I think I already have a candidate who's going to be a guest on my podcast, and I've been willing to talk with this person for a long, long time. And hopefully this will be an interesting episode. Also, I'm also talking to another guy who has a very famous YouTube page, and I'm in the process of talking to him. And hopefully we can set up a date, and let's see where this goes. So to everybody that listened to my show today, and before I forget, before I close this episode, also, what happened with P. Diddy, or Puff Daddy, not guilty on 5 charges. 3 were not guilty and 2 were guilty. I don't have an opinion on that guy because I've never been a fan. I did talk about Puff Daddy, but now that he is not guilty on 5 charges, 3 of them not guilty and 2 guilty. You know what they say, ladies and gentlemen, money talks. And even people who are out celebrating outside the courthouse, that there were even people who were just throwing baby oil at some another young lady there. They were getting lathered and stuff. And there was this there's a couple of MAGAs on Twitter who were bitching and complaining about what happened. And let me see if I could read what this fucking cocksucker said. This let me see. Let me find it right now because I wrote it on Twitter about a while back. It's some fuckface. His name is Mike Engelman. He goes by the name on Twitter, Real Hickory. He says, "Here's the main reason P. Diddy got a slap on the wrist," and they show the picture of a young lady who was a juror, and this is the same guy who said something on Twitter that I just like. Are you fucking kidding me? He said something that really, really pissed me off, and I was like, "Fuck this guy." This guy said, and I quote, "If you are rooting for our country to fail because you don't like our president," I didn't vote for him. He ain't my president. He's your president, not mine. So fuck you. "Then you aren't really an American." Okay. This is the same guy who said, I'll bet dollars to donuts, ladies and gentlemen, that this is the same guy who said who was acting the same way towards President Biden. And I responded to this fucking asshole, and I told him, and I quote, "And I'll bet dollars to donuts you were thinking and doing the same thing when President Biden was in office. Sit down and shut up." That's what I told him, unquote. So, it's funny how if it's a Democrat, they say that they're all communists, that they're not patriots and all that stuff. But if it's a Republican like Trump, they're saying, "Oh, respect them." Oh, it's just they're like fucking bootlickers, ass kisses and all that stuff of Trump. And this is another fellow who says that Trump should do a 3rd term. And I was like, newsflash, Trump can only run for 2 terms, not 3. But they want to amend and change the Constitution so this fucker could run for a 3rd term. How the fuck do we know this guy's going to be alive, And with, but enough, sorry if I got off track with this talking about this fucking asshole. And it's and with P. Diddy, it's just money talks, Money fucking talks, ladies and gentlemen. And I will talk about that for a future episode. But especially MAGAs are all pretty mad right now what happened. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So once again, thank you so much for listening. And I'm not going to say happy 4th of July. I'm just going to say, well, today is 4th of July. Whatever. Don't give a fuck right now. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. If you don't like what I say, go to another podcast. So have a good evening and always be safe out there, people.